Hello everyone, welcome back, welcome to today's video. So I've been reading pretty consistently for a while now, for a good few years. However, I've only ever stuck to the two genres I'm comfortable with, which are romance and fantasy, and a fusion in between. I never step out of those genres, mainly because, I know what I like, so I stick with it. And I don't love stepping out of my comfort zone. But that is exactly what we're going to be doing for today's video. I am going to be reading books from genres I normally never read from. I decided to do this just because while I am a little nervous and a little skeptical about reading these books, I know that there are so many great books in other genres I've never tried before. I watch a lot of book content and I see a lot of my favorite creators reading all of these genres I've never read before, and it just seems like I'm missing out on all of these books just because I'm scared to try them out. So I just really wanted to make this video just to see if I can expand my book taste and just kind of learn more about what I like and dislike in books. So I'm excited but still a little nervous. But the three genres I'm going to be reading for this video are mystery thriller, sci-fi, and dark romance. I've never really read a mystery thriller or a dark romance book before. I've read like one sci-fi book. I read Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. That was actually a book, a part of my curriculum in high school, but I actually ended up loving that book so much. It's actually one of my favorite books I've ever read. So that just shows me that if I just stepped out of my comfort zone, I can discover so many books I'm going to love. I don't know why I haven't picked up another sci-fi book since, just because I guess if I hadn't read that in school, I probably wouldn't have gravitated towards Ender's Game. And yeah, so I've read a sci-fi book. I think the only mystery book I've ever read is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and that is obviously a YA book. So I don't know, in my head, mystery thrillers are scary, so that's why I don't touch them. But A Good Girl's Guide to Murder I actually loved. So again, that's just giving me a glimpse of, potentially a whole genre of books that I could end up loving as well. Dark romance, I'm scared. I am scared of what I've seen online, like Haunting Adeline, all that stuff. I think it's a little too much for me, but I'm not gonna say which books I'm reading now, but I think the one I'm going to choose is kind of like a good introduction to dark romance. But anyways, let's start this video. The first genre I'm going to start off with is the one I am most scared for, which is a mystery thriller. I'm particularly nervous for this genre because I know myself and I feel like I spook very easily. I've always said in regards to like horror movies and stuff like that, I've never seen the appeal to purposely scaring yourself. So my mystery thrillers are just going to give me nightmares. However, I know that's not the case for every single mystery thriller book. I think from watching other book content, mystery thrillers sound like a lot of fun. It sounds very captivating, interesting, and you're just kind of along for the ride. So I'm going to give it a chance, and the book I decided to pick up is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I don't know anything about this book. All I know is that it's pretty popular, and that's why I chose it. I'm gonna go into this book blind, which might be a huge mistake because I don't know if this is going to scare me. I think it's just she's obviously a housemaid working for a rich family, and this family is a little weird. Like, that is all I know about this book. I don't know. I am very scared, if I'm being honest. All I'm going to say is I will not be reading this book after dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this book, and I really hope it won't give me nightmares. I'm terrified of the little girl. We just met her. She's been on the page for like 3 sentences. I'm scared. The way she's described and why she's looking at the main character so deeply. Is there something up with her? I swear if it's just like the little girl kind of just staring at her the entire book. everyone, so it's the next day and I'm here to give a little bit of an update on Housemaid. I've reached chapter 30, so I'm on page 150, so like a little under halfway the book. And my thoughts so far are that I'm definitely intrigued by the story. I feel like it's such a fast-paced book and I'm getting through it very quickly, which I didn't really expect because, like I said, I was kind of apprehensive going into it just because of the genre itself. I thought I would be scared so I'd have to put down the book and everything, but you know, I was reading last night. I'm not scared at all. I feel like not much has happened so far, but I'm not bored, so I feel like it has good pacing. Yeah, overall so far, at least for now, I'm definitely not spooked out by it. I definitely made it out a lot scarier in my head, but I'm actually happy that I'm reading this book because I'm just kind of proving to myself that I can totally read mystery and thrillers, but so far I'm enjoying it. So basically this book is about Millie. She's our main character and she starts working as a live-in housekeeper for this woman named Nina, and Nina has a husband named Andrew and a 9-year-old daughter named Cecilia. Millie is looking to kind of have a fresh start in life because she's an ex-con, and that's not a spoiler. You find that out, I think, like chapter 2 or 3. So she's super excited to start working for Nina because she was fired from her previous job. She's currently living in her car, so she's just ready to obviously make money and have a place to live. But basically you find out pretty quickly that Nina, her employer, is just really crazy. She has these like erratic mood swings and changes up on Millie a lot. She'll go from being appreciative of Millie and then the next she'll be completely freaking out about something so small. And she also lies a lot. Like she'll lie about certain things about her daughter, and she'll say one thing to Millie and then retract it later, claiming that she never told her that. But yeah, so basically as you read, you just kind of realize like that Nina is not really all there. Certain things are revealed about her, and I'm assuming more things are going to be revealed about Nina and the family, but so far so good. Like I said, I feel like not much has happened. Yeah, not many more thoughts than that. I also don't want to give anything away, obviously. I have a couple theories. I've written them on my phone, and it'll be interesting to see if I guess any of them right. I doubt that I will. I don't know, it's kind of fun. So I'm just gonna read more today and hopefully I'll finish the book soon. Oh, something happened. Oh my gosh. Okay, interesting. Hello everyone, it's the next day and I finished The Housemaid by Frida McFadden last night, which is quite surprising because I know in the beginning before I read this book I said that I was not going to read it at night because I was afraid it's going to give me nightmares. But after finishing this book, I realized I definitely jumped the gun on that. Like, this is not a scary book. It was very entertaining. The moment I kind of talked about my first impressions of what the book was about, I was saying how like I thought that it was very fast paced, but I didn't feel like much was happening. But right when I started reading after that, it got pretty much into the story. Any theories that I had, I was wrong. I did definitely not foresee the direction this book went, but I really liked it. Yeah, like I said, I was completely surprised by what honestly this book was about. I don't know, I found it really entertaining. I liked the ending. I think I'm going to be giving this book a 3.5 stars, which to me that just means like I was entertained. It's really different, I feel, like rating a thriller book than to like a fantasy, because I base my rating off of different things. Like, I feel like these type of books are just for like, you know, obviously the plot and kind of shock value and just kind of taking you on a journey, and I definitely enjoyed it. So yeah, 3.5 stars. I'm really happy I read this book because, like I said, I had these preconceived notions on what this type of genre was like. So I'm happy that I read this to kind of just prove to myself that, like, you know what, it's not as scary as you make it out to be, and I definitely see myself picking up more mystery thrillers in the future. I think it's a perfect book to kind of help me get out of a slump if I just want to read something really fast paced that'll keep me engaged, that I don't really have to put that much thought and effort and really into understanding what's going on. I'm definitely going to read more. I mean, I'm probably going to read more of this author's books too, because I just know that she's really popular. Anyways, so I finished my mystery thriller book and I've decided that I'm going to be reading a dark romance next. Now, even though I read romances, it's very much like the fluffy rom-com type of romances with, you know, tropes and all that stuff. However, I never thought I'd read a dark romance, mainly because I guess maybe this is also a preconception about dark romances, but I just feel like, at least things I've heard about dark romances, to me seems usually the men are very possessive in these type of books, and it gets really wild. I heard about books like Haunting Adeline, you know, for example, and everything that I've heard from that book I just don't think I would enjoy personally. But I know that is kind of like an extreme book, so maybe it's like not fair to use that book as a representative for the entire genre. But like I said, I think my main issues is that I've always thought it was kind of like misogynistic in a way. However, we are trying it today. I'm actually kind of excited for the book I'm going to be reading, but that's the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. I'm going to be reading it on my iPad. I know the series is comprised of 5 novellas. I haven't decided if I'm going to be reading the whole series because I think altogether it's about 700 pages, but I did start the first book. I think it's called The Risk last night, and I'm halfway in. On my iPad, halfway is like 50 pages, so there's like 100 pages total, so I haven't really gotten that far into it. But I really wanted to read this book because I heard that basically the storyline was that this girl is a serial killer and she's dating the cop who is trying to solve her case. So immediately I was like, this is interesting, sign me up. And I'm not really that far into the book, and that's pretty much all I've been given so far. I know that the main character, like the serial killer, has had severe trauma and she's taking revenge on the people who were the cause of that, but I don't really know much more than that so far. But I am enjoying it and I'm actually very excited to continue reading it. So yeah, I'm just gonna be sitting reading. I'm definitely gonna read past the first novella because I'm already halfway into that, but we shall see. I'll give you some updates on like where I am. I most likely will finish the series. I'll let you guys know, but I'm gonna go continue reading. Kind of loving this like unexpected friendship that's going on here. It's like, it's funny. This book is just unlike anything I've ever read before, and that's a compliment. There are some parts that are just too funny to me. Hello everyone, it's the next day. I just got back from work not too long ago, and literally when I tell you the entire shift I was working, I was just waiting to come home so I can continue reading. I haven't really given much updates on how I'm feeling about the book just because I've been binging it so fast. Every single time I pick up the book, I literally cannot put it down. So that is showing you I'm quite enjoying it. I'm finding it so entertaining. I don't know, I'm eating it up. I was a little skeptical about going into this. Like I said, just obviously with all these genres, I'm gonna be a little skeptical going into it because I don't really know what I'm getting myself into, especially with the dark romance, I feel. And I thought it would be a little too gruesome or disturbing for me to read. And while it is definitely gruesome and disturbing at times, it's not like that detailed for me to be uncomfortable while reading. Like, I'm able to read it no problem. And the dark part of this book is not the romance, which I'm so happy about, because I think all of the things that were making me hesitate from reading dark romance was, like I said, kind of thinking that the relationship between the two characters were going to be a little too possessive for me to enjoy it, which is why I'm really liking this book, because the romance is actually pretty sweet and like wholesome. Obviously, the main character Lana and the guy character Logan, like Logan doesn't know that Lana's a serial killer, so obviously there is lying going on. But if you take that away, like, they've really fallen for each other, and I think it's like a pretty cute relationship. And honestly, the romance is not even the huge plot of the book. The plot is Lana, she has a revenge list, and that's who she's killing off because something terribly traumatic happened to her in the past. And I feel like I've learned the extent of it, but every single time I think I know everything, something happens and I'm shocked to find out a new thing that is a part of the bigger picture. And honestly, it is actually so incredibly sad as to what has happened. And because of that, honestly, I'm like, you know what? I'm pro Alana doing what she's doing. I feel like obviously it's not like objectively the morally right thing to do. However, I'm like, you know what? She's not a serial killer. She's a vigilante. And yeah, I'm kind of like, you know what? Slay. This book is pretty unhinged at times, but I eat it up. Yeah, overall, this book, well, I'm calling it a book. I'm on book 4. I'm almost finished book 4. I'm about to start book 5. I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish it today or tomorrow. I guess I don't know what other dark romances are like, but I'm enjoying this because like you're interested in what's happening and what's getting revealed. But the romance itself, it's like I said, pretty tame. And like the dark part of the book is the plot. So I'm really liking how it's set up. Not much else to say. I'm gonna go read right now. I'm so excited. I've been waiting all day to just sit in bed and binge this book. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Hello everyone, so it's the next day and I finished the Mind F series last night, and I'm here to give my final thoughts. To say this simply, I enjoyed it a lot. I was so entertained by that book. Like, it was so addictive. I really couldn't put it down. Anytime I wasn't reading it, I was wishing that I was. I knew going into it I wasn't going to judge the book based off of certain factors that I would, like a fantasy book or something, so I wasn't really going in looking for the plot or characters. I really just went for pure entertainment, and it delivered. But also, you know what? I did like the plot of the book. I feel like I said earlier, the romance feels more of like a subplot and a way to bring back kind of the humanity in Lana, because being a serial killer has made her a lot of a colder person. And I feel like her relationship with Logan kind of softened her and made her look forward to life more than just like killing people. Like, she could actually see herself being happy in a relationship. Honestly, I really liked the relationship. I think they were very cute. Like I said, the dark aspects of the book was not the romance, which is what I appreciated so much about it, and I think it's what made me be able to read the book, because they were like pretty soft, and all the darkness was obviously like the killings and all that stuff. As a character, Lana, honestly, I liked her. I think it's interesting because this book definitely brings up the idea of questioning like what's right and wrong. Obviously killing is wrong, but the people that Lana is killing off, they are definitely not victims. They are horrible people. And when you learn all of the things that they did and all of Lana's reasonings for what she's doing, like, I can definitely sympathize with her. And after each time she killed someone, I was like, you know what, slay, like, queen, go off. I think it's just really interesting how the book brought up the idea of like, is it okay kind of for someone to get justice on their own? And it's definitely disturbing at some part. Definitely check trigger warnings because there's a lot of them, but I feel like some of the times it was serious because of the trauma and all of those really sad and, like I said, disturbing details of Lana's past. But it's also so unhinged and funny and unserious. There, you know, were moments where I had to cackle because it's just ridiculous, and especially like the epilogue, so ridiculous. But I think that's what makes this book like so fun to read. It's because overall I really liked it. I think I'm going to rate the series as a whole of 4 stars. I'm just gonna give each book a 4 stars. But now we are on the last and final genre, which is sci-fi, and the book I'm reading for this genre is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've heard a lot of good things about this book. My sister also read it. She loves this series. So I decided, why not? Let's give it a try. The cover over here says Ender, Katniss, and now Darrow. And Ender is from Ender's Game, which is like the book I mentioned earlier that I loved. Obviously Katniss, we know, and love her from the Hunger Games. So I mean, I'm sure I'm going to like this book. I just don't know if I'm like super in the mood for it, but I'm going to give it a chance anyways, obviously. And yeah, let's start this book. Hello everyone. So it is like well over a week since I last updated, but I'm actually here to tell you that I have finished Red Rising. I know I haven't given any updates while I was reading this book, but I just figured that all of my opinions and how I was feeling could just wait until when I finished it. Yeah, it also just took me kind of a long time to read it, but before we get into all of my thoughts and everything, I thought I'd just share what Red Rising is about if you didn't know. So Red Rising follows Darrow. He is a 16-year-old miner on Mars, and within the society, humanity is spread over across the solar system, and basically they follow a caste system. So golds are at the top and reds, which is Darrow, are at the bottom. They're basically living in poverty, but the reds are being told that through their mining, they are slowly making Mars habitable for humanity. But something happens, and a red resistant group basically takes Darrow and shows him how, in fact, the golds have lied, and Mars is already being inhabited by society. It's already livable. They've created cities and everything. So this resistant group decides to take Darrow basically and turn him into a gold so he could be kind of like a double agent for them. There's like this institution where kind of these high-ranking golds, they'll take a test to see if they could get in this institute, and when they do, they become, I don't know, like sort of leaders or just high-ranking in society afterwards. And this resistant group wants Darrow to go into that and eventually overthrow the golds. So that's what this book is about. I don't know if I explained it super well. I just feel like this is such a complicated story to tell. But yeah, so let's get into my thoughts. Okay, so I didn't love this book, and it's not because I think this book is bad. I think if anything, it's like the opposite. I think it's super well written. The plot is really thought out. The characters, you can tell like a lot of thought and effort went into building this story, and the world building and everything is really great. I feel like this book is definitely just setting up the story. Obviously I know that this was originally a trilogy. I think there's 3 more books after. It's supposed to take place 10 years later, I think. So yeah, obviously I feel like this book is kind of just setting up the scene for the entire series. Not that that's like a criticism, like a lot happens in this book. I just think that personally it wasn't for me, and I don't really know what it was that I didn't like. I just was never inclined to pick it up. I don't know, I just feel like if I hadn't read this book for this video, I would have DNF'd it really early on, just because like, I don't know, I just don't feel like the story is for me personally, but I don't think it's bad. I don't know, I just think that like this is just really far from what I'm usually used to reading, and I know that was the entire purpose of this video. I have read a few sci-fi books, and I don't know, I just like those more. I feel like maybe I just didn't really connect to the characters or mainly Jero. I can obviously understand his drive and purpose. You know, he's betrayed by the Golds, he's been lied to his entire life, but I just feel like I don't really care about the story ultimately, which sucks. But yeah, I'm still kind of sitting on a rating. I think I might rate it like a 2.5 stars. I feel really bad saying it because like I don't think this is a bad book. I just think that personally it wasn't for me. Yeah, so that's gonna be where I end off this video. I think overall the Mindfuck series was definitely my favorite book that I read in this video. However, if I were to pick a genre that I'm most likely to be reading more of, I think it might be mystery thrillers. I just think that they'll be really great books for me to read when I am kind of in a slump or I don't know what to read and I want to read something quick and fast paced. I feel like with dark romances, I'm still a little skeptical because I do feel like the one that I read is still a little bit different from other dark romances, but I don't know. We'll see. You never say never. Even with sci-fi books, I think I will still continue to read a couple books here and there. Maybe not as often. I don't think I'm going to be continuing this trilogy or series. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and hopefully I'll see you in my next video soon. Bye!